Joining me for today's headlines is my good friend, Michael Kosta. What's going on, Michael Kosta? How you doing, man? Did you have a good Halloween?
I had a great Halloween.
Yeah?
You know, and I'm more proud of the fact that I haven't seen a white person post a culturally insensitive costume. And it makes me think, maybe we learned.
Yeah.
Maybe we learned not to post, but maybe Ted Lasso was scooping up a lot of the white people costumes.
I saw a lot of them.
You know, so I saw a lot of them too, and it makes me thinking maybe we need more TV shows with a white, male, charismatic lead.
You know what, my man? I hear what you're saying. We need more white men represented on television so that people have more white men to look up to.
Look, you said it. The other thing I love about Halloween, it just feels like there's no rules. You know, you can walk around your neighborhood drunk, drinking. You see a cop, they never say anything. You don't even know if that is a cop. Maybe that's someone dressed as a cop. Even if they say something to you, you can say, my costume is that I'm publicly intoxicated. And you're good. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, I just got to commit more crimes on Halloween. You just made me realize this.
There's no rules, dude.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Next Halloween, me and you,
Yes.
we're doing this together.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into the big story that's happening today. It's all about Joe Biden, President of the United States and professional malarkey hunter. There are lots of cool perks to being president, right? You get a giant house with a bowling alley and a personal chef. You get that free painting of yourself. And best of all, you get to travel the world for free. And right now, Joe Biden is on one of the biggest trips of his presidency so far. So let's find out how it's all going in another installment of Grandpa's Day Out. President Biden's first stop on his European tour was the Vatican City, the place TripAdvisor rated best city to feel guilty for masturbating in. And while Biden was there, he had a very special meeting with a fellow Catholic.
For President Biden, a day of devotion and diplomacy. America's second ever Roman Catholic president having a private audience with Pope Francis, with whom he's built a personal bond, giving him a ceremonial commander coin and a compliment.
You are the most significant warrior for peace I've ever met. And with your permission, I'd like to be able to give you a coin. Now, the tradition is, and I'm only kidding about this, if next time I see you, you don't have it, you have to buy the drinks. Now, I'm the only Irishman you've ever met who's never had a drink.
Io sono l'unico irlandese che lei conosce che non ha mai bevuto in vita sua.
Perché gli irlandesi hanno portato il whisky.
I know that.
So obviously a very personal moment with a lighthearted one, as is typical with Joe Biden, who ended that meeting today by saying to the Pope, God love you.
You know, you got to give it to Joe Biden because it took everything in his power as an old man to not make that coin appear behind the Pope's ear. What's this, Popey? Ah, here's a coin, kid. I'll see you next time. Yeah. Also, the fact that he said God love you to the Pope, that is the most unnecessary God love you in history. You don't need to say God love you to the Pope. He knows God loves him. He had dinner with him last night. But I do think that meeting was cool to see because it's nice that even though these two men are some of the most powerful leaders in the world, when it comes down to it, they're just a couple of old guys hanging out, showing off their coin collection, talking about alcohol, making inappropriate ethnic jokes. I mean, forget the Vatican. These two should have been meeting in a sauna, you know? And it's adorable how the Pope acts so happy to receive that coin. You see him, you know, I mean, his house is filled with Indiana Jones' wish list. He doesn't need to be happy about a coin, you know? Oh, wow, a coin from the White House. I'll keep it right next to the actual Holy Grail. Throw this shit out, Vincenzo. Sto cazzo not giving me the coin, eh? Are you gonna give me a coin? I said the Pope, or this is sto cazzo little White House. Well, you see, it seems like I speak bad Italian, but actually the Pope is actually from Argentina. He speaks Spanish. So I'm actually doing a very good Pope impression because I'm saying his Italian's not great. That's what that is. I'm going to be honest, Kosta. I think this is a good look for Biden because, I mean, he's Catholic and the Pope likes him. This is a good thing, right?
I think it's a bad thing. I think it's a bad sign if you're trying to negotiate an infrastructure bill in the United States and in the middle of negotiations, you got to run and talk to the Pope. Hey, Pope, confession, we're screwed. Isn't it great that they just get called the Pope? That's your new name when you become the Pope. The Pope. His name is Francis. Everyone calls him the Pope. It's like when you work at Denny's, very first day you show up and the only name tag they have is Josh. You're now Josh.
I thought that guy was Josh.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone thinks it's Josh. Also, you know there's another former Pope out there, Pope Benedict. He's just around. He's hanging. He's like the Jay Leno now of Pope. He's just fixing cars in Germany. He was a pope, and he's not a pope. I'm just saying. No one ever talks about Benedict.
Former pope?
Former pope.
Previous pope?
Previous pope.
All right, now, after President Biden exchanged Irish jokes with the Pope, he caught an Uber to Rome for the G20 summit, where he and other world leaders got down to business. And they got some things done. You know, like they agreed to create a global minimum corporate tax rate of 15%, which is expected to raise hundreds of billions of dollars until the corporations find a different loophole about 5 minutes afterwards. But when it came to another priority for the G20, tackling climate change, things weren't as successful.
Even the first major in-person meeting in 2 years couldn't bring world leaders closer together on the issue of climate change. In the final communique, G20 leaders agreed to softer language on reaching net zero emissions, setting a target of, quote, by or around mid-century. Canada's pledge is to be carbon neutral by 2050, and coal was also contentious. G20 leaders did agree to end public financing of coal-fired power generation abroad, but there are no targets to phase out coal domestically.
Damn, G20, now that is a flex. Did you hear what they said there? Basically, these leaders were like, no more coal for anyone except us. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go home and give a Pfizer booster to my pets. I'm sorry, guys, but how is climate change the most pressing issue facing humanity, but then your plan is to do something about it by more or less 2050? Like, that's a pretty good sign that something isn't actually going to get done. If somebody says to you, yeah, we should hang out sometime. What's your schedule looking like in 2050? You're never seeing that person again. I don't care if they're your dad. You're never seeing them. Not to mention, I'm looking at the people making this pledge. Half of them aren't even going to be around in 2050. That's genius. When are we fixing this? How much time do I have left? Yeah, around then. I mean, the bigger problem is that these steps that the countries have announced that they're going to take, they won't actually reduce carbon emissions enough to reach the goals. So basically what they've done is said, I want to lose 100 pounds by the summer, so I'm going to do 5 push-ups a day. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll get tapeworm. We'll see what happens, you know? It's frustrating, Kosta. The thing, you can't say you want to do something about it and then be like, well, in 30 years, we'll do something in 30 years.
I can solve climate change in 10 minutes. You ready?
Okay.
Here's how, well, they could solve it in 10 minutes. Stop having the conference in a fancy room in Glasgow and put the G20 summit inside of a California wildfire, okay? They got 2 minutes. Let's wrap this thing up.
Location.
They don't feel the consequences when they're in an air-conditioned room in Glasgow.
I like this.
That's what I'm saying.
Location is everything.
Location.
Yes.
I'm the first person to ever say that. Yeah.
Anyway, Joe Biden wrapped up Grandpa's day out by attending the COP26 climate conference in Scotland, aka England's fancy church hat. And although COP26 sounds like a Bruce Willis movie that never actually got made, it's actually the most important annual climate change conference in the world. Although that doesn't mean that it's the most exciting conference in the world.
I call on you to commit to concrete actions to stop the destruction of this magnificent planet. This conference is one of the most important meetings in history. You have the chance to make decisions and reach agreements which will affect the lives of generations to come. This is my message from Earth to COP. On behalf of We the 15, I ask you, please help us to guarantee a safer future for every life.
Please welcome the Prime Minister of Italy, Mario Draghi.
I don't know what's worse, the fact that he clapped for a speech that he didn't hear, or the fact that he fell asleep when the guy was like, this is the most important thing facing humanity of all time. And look, I know that the haters are going to say that Biden was falling asleep during the climate conference, but think about it. How are we going to save the climate? Not using energy, that's how. What's the one time you're not using as much energy? When you're sleeping. So Joe Biden was just doing his part, yo. That's all he was doing. And by the way, I don't know exactly how the chain of command works, but when he dozed off for 5 seconds, I think technically that means Kamala Harris was president at that time, right? First woman president in America, you did it, baby. You did it. You see what I did there, Kosta? It's a joke about Kosta. Michael.
Shoot them, Lindsey Graham. Use the guns. Use the guns.
That's not what I was talking about.
I know.
This guy. You know, if you ask me, the real hero of this whole thing was the aide who came in and woke Biden up, because that was slick, man. That dude should get a coin. If it wasn't for him, Biden might still be sleeping there now. Yeah, he'll just wake up next week in the middle of like a furry convention. I don't know if I could rub one out to a squirrel, but God love you guys. So kudos to that aide who woke Biden up. I mean, people may not actually know this, but he's actually part of a new branch of the federal government, and they're on the lookout for recruits.
When the world's most powerful man needs a power nap at the worst possible time, and the line between consciousness and chaos is as thin as an eyelid, that's when we spring into action. The few, the swift, the United States Sleeper Service. Join our team and you'll learn how to take charge when the president takes a nap.
Eagle is dozing. Repeat, Eagle is dozing. We're entering rapid eye movement. God damn it, get those eyes open. He's about to snore.
So if you're ready to throw yourself into the line of tired, join the United States Sleeper Service. Suck it, Space Force.